Welcome to the very first episode of Bet Every Fight. And that is exactly what we're going to do. UFC 311 is our first episode, new main event, Makhachev Moicano. And I'm going to give you my favorite play for every fight, all 13 of them on the card. I'm going to throw them in a big ass parlay and post that around for just a little bit of change. Do with the plays what you like. Hopefully, we hit the big one and go 13-0. Let's pull up DraftKings Sportsbook and get to betting. All right, here we go, guys. I'm going to start first fight of the night. Anything is in play. Fighter props, round props, money line. I got no rules on how high or low I can go. We're going to go Tajir Ulanbekov, Clayton Carpenter. I'm also not going to do a ton of fight breakdowns. I do that in other places. This is just going to roll through my favorite bets. What monster parlay am I going to build? This is an interesting one here. And I haven't really looked through each of these fights. So you're going to see me looking through them on the show here. Ulanbekov minus 325, minus 3.5 on the point spread is minus 105. If he wins, he's probably pretty dominant. I don't mind the minus 3.5. See what other fighter props we have going on. Striking props, nothing really jumping out. Ulanbekov over 3.5. Not much interest there. I do think Ulanbekov wins the fight pretty comfortably, is pretty dominant. I'll take a shot here. I want to put up huge numbers. I'm going to go the spread line here, minus 3.5 point spread, minus 105. But if you're not familiar, that is, if he wins by decision, the bet wins. If they go judges, they add up the scorecards, and then it's like a game spread in any other sport, based on the judges' scorecard. So if three judges score the contest 30-27, it's 90-81 a win. All right, let's head back up here. And we got Tercios Sopage. I would toy with the idea of Ricky Tercios. This is one of those that I think I just want to get into a prop line here. I'm not really sure how this fight's going to go. Sopage had that fun fight against Vinicius Oliveira. I really think what this comes down to, Sopage, I don't think, if Tercios gets taken down, I'm going to play this one relatively safe. If Tercios gets taken down, I don't think he's going to get up multiple times in a round. I don't even know if for sure if that's where Sopage is going to want this fight to play out. I'll just take Bernardo Sopage minus 200 under 3.5 takedowns. Don't want to mess with any other props here. Don't really like this fight a ton. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to have 13 fights total to build out our parlay. Next fight up, we got Rinya Nakamura, Muin Gafarov. I do like Rinya quite a bit here. Spread line quite wide. I think Rinya is going to dominate this fight. Interested in the spread line. Let's see what some of the other props are. Over 3.5 takedowns. That requires Muin to get up at least once. Strike props. This is one where Rinya could do okay anywhere. I'm probably between the Muin Gafarov under on strikes. Instead, I'm just going to lean on the spread again. I'm going to go with Rinya Nakamura by domination here, minus 5.5 on the point spread. We'll do a recap at the end because of all the text here on DraftKings. You can't read it close together, but let's go ahead. Let's keep on knocking through my favorite bet for every fight. Carol Hossa, Eileen Perez. I like Carol Hossa quite a bit in this one. I think if Perez doesn't get takedown, she's in a shit ton of trouble. I think she will be. I've toyed around. I'm not going to put it in this one, but I like the shot on Carol Hossa to win by KO. It's plus 900 here. Fighter props will be interested in this. Hossa's over 0.5 to get a takedown is interesting at minus 175. Eileen Perez, she's going to be shooting for takedowns desperately. I'm probably, again, I'm just going to go with the fighter. I think it got plus 120 here. Plus 120 on Hossa to get a finish or just win, obviously to win the fight and for one judge at least to score 30-27. Just going to keep going on the favorites I like to win, especially dominantly. Not going to keep picking this throughout, I promise, but that's just where we're starting. Grant Dawson, Diego Ferreira. This is interesting. I won't pick the spread on Dawson because if Ferreira can stop takedowns, could be interesting. I don't think he will. I think Dawson's going to look for takedowns. I think he likely gets them. I don't like this 3.5 number. That's dicey to me. Dawson's probably going to spend enough time looking for takedowns. 46.5 on the significant strike number. Not sure about that. Let's start looking at some round props here. I do think it likely goes to decision. I think it's the first time I'm going to lean on the over 2.5 rounds here. We're going to go minus 160 on an over. I don't think I see a finish on this fight. Seems like the safest bet there. Bogdan Guskov, Billy Alakana. Look, Guskov's supposed to finish. Even the spread line shoots up to minus 250. I'm not sure about a quick finish here. Could be the best bet, though. Let me look at the fighter props. Significant strikes are pretty low. Your winning method, Guskov by KO, is still minus 175. I actually think the safest bet here, the best odds for your bet, I'll go with the quick finish. I said I wasn't sure. I'm gonna roll with it here. I do think Guskov gets a relatively early win, and if Alakana's going to win, he's going to have to swing big, swing from the hip. I'll take the under 1.5 at minus 120. All right, let's move on here. Bet every fight. Reese Bakoyev, another one of these short notice fights. I do think Bakoyev wins. Minus 192 is interesting. The spread line is only minus 115. A little bit surprising. This fight is, the line is set at 1.5 versus 2.5. I don't think I love everything there. I would like to see what the Bakoyev. We don't have, because it's a new fight, we don't have all the props for it up yet. And that's a shame because I'd probably want to look at some of the takedown props here. Reese Bakoyev, I think I'm just going to go super safe because I just don't like this fight overall. Short notice stuff really sketches me out. Short notice still minus 192. Could be my least favorite bet on the whole card, but I'll look at Bakoyev minus 192. Moving on. Peyton Talbot, Raoni Barcelos. Do agree with everyone. I think Talbot's going to smash here. It's a matter of what number's the best. Even the minus 7.5 is minus 300. Your fighter props. 50, strikes 56 and 39. Barcelos is going to look for takedowns. Minus 280 is rough. That's a big number. I don't think I want to be laying that. Not looking for takedowns here. I think we stand up. It's a matter of how tough is Raoni Barcelos. Under 1.5 is plus 140. Talbot can take his time. I don't think I love that. Talbot to win by KO. TKO is minus 185. That's what we're going to roll with here. I think that's my favorite play. Talbot to win by KO. TKO. Going through, getting towards the main card now. Kevin Holland, Rainier de Ritter. Let's see. Holland de Ritter is interesting in that Holland can get, whenever you rely on Kevin Holland to stop takedowns, it is just so sketchy. And Rainier's going to look for them. Over 2.5 is plus 100, which is super interesting. Holland over 0.5 takedowns at plus 250 is also interesting. I don't think I can bet an under here, and I don't know if the fight goes long enough to get to the over 2.5. You know what? I'm actually going to take Rainier de Ritter less than 32.5 strikes. He's either got to shoot for takedowns or I think Holland's going to light him up on the feet. I'll go with the under there on the significant strikes. All right, last 4 fights. Jailton Almeida, Sergey Spivak. Coming up here, let's see, I'd be interested in the takedown props in this fight. Spivak at plus 400, that's a big number. Like they're both smaller heavyweights. Jailton Almeida is going to want to be on the ground. Look at the strike props are super low. The finish props, 1.5 rounds at minus 120. Spivak's probably going to want to use his wrestling more defensively than he really ever has. Oh, God. I'd be interested in you know what? I'm just going to go under 1.5 fight time minus 120. I think we see a finish either way. I almost took Spivak to get a takedown just because instinct. And then Jailton will end up using his BJJ, searching for subs, but I think this under 1.5 is where where I prefer to go. Rolling through, we are up to not even the co-main event, Prohaska and Hill. Look, this one's simple for me. I'm not even going to go into the strikes. I like this fight to end in a finish, end in violence. I think Prohaska brings out violence. Hill hits really hard. I think these guys are going to throw down. Give me Hill under 1.5, or not Hill. Give me the fight to go under 1.5 rounds, plus 130, plus money play there. Merab Dvalishvili, Umar Nurmagomedov. It's something that Umar, the challenger, is such a big favorite here. I think mostly Umar's going to look for takedowns. I don't want to control it there. I don't think it's going to be a ton of striking at range, maybe a little bit. I'm actually going in that range. I do think Umar is the better striker. I know Merab usually throws out a lot of volume here, but if he does that and moves forward, I think Umar will get takedowns. I'm actually going to go with Merab to under the significant strikes. Last fight left, and then we've got a bet on all 13 fights. Do with them what you will. I'm going to throw a little bit of money on the massive parlay. Make sure you take advantage of your parlay boost that all the sports books are offering. Makhachev, Moicano. And this one is also pretty straightforward to me. I think Makhachev is going to either blanket Moicano or Moicano is going to land something big. 26.5 significant strikes. That is lower than I thought it was going to be. I thought they were going to have this number set a little bit higher. This was my knee-jerk reaction of what I wanted to bet here. Is that where we're going to land? I thought we were up around like in the 30s initially. I guess it's kind of the same thing. Takedowns landed, by the way. Makhachev over 2.5 is plus 100. That's probably where I want to go now. This number is so low. Your fight lines, Vegas is favoring the under 2.5. That's why that takedown number is so low. I'm going to go, I'm bouncing back and forth between the takedown line for Makhachev and this over 2.5. I'm going to go with the takedown line. Islam Makhachev over 2.5 takedowns plus 100. If this Moicano number was up in the 30s, 40s, got a little more time there, I'd be tempted to go there. But this is where I'm gonna lay things out. If you were to put $10 on this parlay without any boosts, pays over $23,000. Those are my favorite 13 picks on the card. I'm gonna roll through, do a recap. If you're still watching, appreciate you. Hit the like button, share with your friends. Tagir Ulanbekov, minus 3.5 on the spread. Sopaj, under 3.5 takedowns. Nakamura, minus 5.5 on the spread. Carol Hosa, minus 3.5 on the spread. Dawson Ferreira, over 2.5 rounds. Guskov Elikana, under 1.5 rounds. Bakoyev on the money line. Peyton Talbot to win by TKO. DeRitter, less than 32.5 significant strikes. Almeida Spivak under 1.5 rounds. Prohaska Hill under 1.5 rounds. Merab Dvalishvili under 80.5 significant strikes. And Islam Makhachev over 2.5 takedowns. Hope you guys like it. $10 to win over 23,000, whatever variation you want. Split them up singles, play last, round robins, whatever you want to do. Hopefully we come back with a good first week this week. First video in the can. Let me know what you guys think. Let's get out of here. Cash those plays.